Mind Gap Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I am Doug.
And I am Justin. And Doug, you can have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life. Okay? What's it going to be? Is it going to be sushi? Or is it going to be Scotch tape?
Pick one.
Pick one.
Pick one. I don't eat a lot of sushi, so I guess I got to go Scotch tape.
Yeah, but just think how far that sushi is going to stretch you.
Yeah, right? I could just sell it, right?
Now, here's the thing. You get your
for
lifetime supply of sushi all at once. That's the only thing that they don't tell
Yeah, there you go. And it's gas station sushi.
It's saying good luck.
It's going to turn into gas station sushi real quick.
Real quick, yeah. But if you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, what do you think that would be? What
there's
sounds
the practical
good to you?
Doug answer, which is, the $70 bag of protein powder I get at Costco. It'd be nice just to have that off my list,
Right.
Just get that forever and be like, cool, I don't have to buy that anymore,
But the idea that you're going to use protein powder for the rest of your life, like there might come a time when you're like, you know what, I'm good, I'm done with that. I would think something like toilet paper, which you're going to be using the rest of your life.
No, I'm not.
Okay, you're not.
Mm-mm.
Okay, where are we?
No.
What are we moving into eventually?
A bidet.
3 shells.
Bidet and or just a shower after I poop.
I'll be back in 20 minutes. Why? I've got to poop, then take a shower.
I have a brother-in-law that I don't know if he still does it, but he did it for a long time. After he pooped, he would get in the shower.
You're kidding me.
No, dead serious. I was
I have
that's
questions
wild.
about this.
I don't have the answers, unfortunately. As long as I've known him, I don't know why. They're like, yeah, he always poops. After he poops, he always takes a shower. I'm like, okay.
Get him on the phone. Let's do this. Call
Get
him
on
up.
the phone.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Don't tell him what we're doing.
Why?
By the
Because,
way,
hey, I'll say this much. After using a bidet when I went to San Francisco, I'm in, man. I'm in 100%. Like, the fact that we use
understand
dry paper to wipe our asses is insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Let me ask you this, because I've never gotten a chance to use a bidet, but everyone I've ever heard talk about one says the same thing you just said. So there has to be something to it, right? That I'm just not understanding, having never used one. So it shoots the water. Is that? Or do you then use paper to finish the job and or dry? Or like, what's the deal? Like, what's the full step?
Well, depending on which one you have, some of them are, provide different accoutrement. Some of them go, they have like a little fishtail thing that'll spray water accordingly,
I thought you meant
in your butt.
I thought you meant like a piece of fabric, like in a car wash. Like, I don't want that slapping me down there. That sounds awful.
Yeah, some of them have like different like settings on like a garden hose. There's like the power jet, and then there's like the sort of different setting and things like that. So it kind of depends on what you want to use. But generally, it's like, yeah, you just let the water just spray up your ass. You kind of wiggle it around, make sure you get everything, and then you just get some toilet paper to see if it's all gone. And then there's a drying feature on some of them as well. Just shoots hot air up your ass, which is great. And it feels wonderful and it's relaxing and it's fantastic.
Just a tube comes out and just thunk, and just
thunk.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I've done for a while now is I will get toilet paper and I will get the toilet paper wet and then I will wipe my ass. That's what I do.
Well, I mean, cool. I don't need to know now what you're doing, but like I just wondered about the bidet.
How dare you? How dare you shit over me explaining how I clean my asshole? How dare you?
How dare I shit over? Wonderful turn of phrase or wonderful use of the
Yeah.
So I'm not shitting on how you're doing it currently, Doug. I'm just saying it's not the question I asked.
For the longest time, for so many years, I just walked around with a shitty asshole, because I would try my best, but you can't when you have something. It's like trying to get peanut butter out of a shag carpet,
That's it. Yep.
It's like, what are we doing here? It's like that outtake from Parks and Rec where Chris Pratt's just being like, it's like I'm wiping a marker back there. I just keep wiping and wiping and wiping. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
At some point, you're like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I have to leave. And then
I'm raw.
Hours later, you're like, why does my butt feel all uncomfortable and itchy? And you just wipe and you're like, oh, what do you know? There's still shit in my ass, you know?
I understood. So toilet paper, not something you want the unlimited supply of. Okay.
No.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm glad we got to the root of that.
So now I understand why that's not your answer. So what so there's the protein powder is potentially a practical answer, but again, are you sure you're using that the rest of your life? Like
another one, batteries. Batteries are expensive as fuck, right?
What else do you use batteries in anymore? I feel like everything's just you plug it in, it's rechargeable.
Yeah,
what are you using batteries in?
I mean, remotes. Still got some remotes for things.
I don't use anything but an Apple TV remote. That controls everything.
Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. Hope you don't lose your phone. No TV for you, sir. Amongst other hellish problems of you losing your phone.
I guess you can control it from your phone too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Okay, so batteries, sure. Why not? Let's take practical guy out of the equation. What's Fun Doug want?
What's Fun Doug want?
What is assignment desk era Doug looking for? Unlimited supply of.
Probably oatmeal cream pies.
Take the stopper. Take
probably
that
Coke
health
Zero.
stopper out. Yeah. Let's let the freak flag fly. What are we looking for, Doug?
Oh man.
Unlimited quad burgers. What do we want?
Unlimited supply of top-notch computers. Whenever one a computer dies, I get the top of the line computer replacing it.
You know what? That's kind of interesting, especially for you. That's such a hardcore gamer. Well, hardcore in your world. That's
compared to you. I'm a hardcore gamer.
Compared to me, yes, you are pro level hardcore gamer as compared to what I do. That's a real good. I like that. I didn't think about it in that regard, because if that's the case, then I would do the same thing, but just for phones.
Yeah,
because I use my phone until it is run into the ground, and if you could just be like, yeah, give me another one, give me a new one of those.
Yeah,
that'd be real nice.
That'd be nice because obviously you're like, food. What's unlimited supply of food that I want? I'm like, yeah, that kind of just whatever. I'm sure that to some extent to be like, I'd love to have a nice hot loaf of bread.
Just whenever I
need it, it's just boom,
up,
loaf of bread. It's there. But I'm like, as my computer is going on 7 years old,
and it's getting hotter and hotter every time you use it.
I'm just like, it's sounding like. I'm just like, it'd be nice to have a new computer. Sure, wouldn't it be nice? Especially like when I'm trying to play video games now, and I just realize like my graphics card is like a 1000 series and they're up to 5000 series now. So I'm like so far behind.
Yeah.
When I told Eric and Seth what my graphics card was, they both go, Jesus Christ. It's so old. I'm like, it's 7 years old. What do you want from me?
I judge you so hard.
Yeah. I've been trying to play games. It takes it forever to load. And they're like, come on, Doug. I'm like, I'm doing the best. We all go through this where our computer gets to the point. It's amazing. You have it. You're like, I'm lightning fast.
Yeah.
And then eventually it starts shitting out. And then you're like, oh, fuck. You start to worry. You're like, nah, I still got a couple more years. And then you're like, you're just about losing your mind. It takes things forever to load and boot up. And you're like, fuck, I need a new one. But it costs so much money.
I think the cell phone thing is what I think I have to go with, because it's similar to your computer. Like, I feel like that. I'm just trying to think from a practical standpoint. What else is
dogs?
Because the options, huh?
Dogs, unlimited supply of dogs.
Unlimited supply of dogs. I'm fine with 2 currently. Thank you.
Yeah, but you can have as many as you want, Justin. They're always there, waiting in the wings.
They're just okay. That seems like an unused resource, though. I feel like I won't tap into my reserve of dogs.
Just saying. They're always there.
You have the option, though. Don't you like the peace of mind to have the option?
All you got to do is just, when there's a full moon, rip off your shirt in the backyard and howl, and you'll get a dog.
And it just appears. It comes out from behind the shed. It just comes walking around the shed.
Comes out from behind the shed and goes,
yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if you look behind the shed and try to watch it happen, it comes around the other side of the shed.
It does. Yeah. Wherever you try to come from, it just shows up. Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. Damnedest thing. The other thing potentially, maybe shoes, like athletic shoes.
Yeah.
You know,
Those things aren't cheap anymore either.
No,
you know,
very much not.
I wear mine down. Like I bought a pair, I think in September, and I had to replace mine just this week.
Yeah.
And the tread was gone. It was smooth.
It looks like your ice. Yeah, it's like the pair of loafers.
It was horrible when it was even slightly slippery outside. I was like, I couldn't get any tread or any traction. I was like, all right, I should probably get some new shoes.
having upped the amount now, like doing this the regimen that you and I have gotten into, I find myself usually I was like, I could stretch these out for a year and a half or so, and like now I'm like, oh, we're burning through this. We're burning through these soles real quick.
Year and a half, boy, I wish.
Back before I was actually, you buy a pair of like just whatever, like regular sneakers. You're not going to the gym or whatever. Now, it's no bueno. I'm the same with my current pair. Like I was like, I'll just wear these out. It was like, it's just a little bit of snow. Usually I'll wear my boots to the gym around these time and put my sneakers in my bag. Not this time. I was a little bit of snow. I'm like, it's not that bad. I'll put my shoes on. Walked out and nearly bit it on my front steps. I was like, this is not going to work for me.
No
bueno. No good. No good.
Well, I like it. It's a good choice. Yeah. Let us know what you would want an unlimited supply of. Let us know in those comments. And while you're there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button at youtube.com/mindgappodcast. Appreciate you. Love. Respect.
All the love. All the respect. Speaking of bidets.
Yeah.
You got an interesting article that you came up with and a concerning subnote on this that you might be in danger.
There's a very funny story here that goes with this. So the headline here is employee injured after toilet explodes inside Pittsburgh city government building. So let's just take a moment. All right. First of all, this toilet looks sad.
Yeah. This is hotel level. The hotel you worked at. This is hotel level, like sad bathroom.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the side there. It almost looks like there's like a lock.
That does, yeah.
I think it's a hinge, but it looks like it's like a padlock.
Like one of those old school ones that like clinks over.
So just based on what I'm looking at, this looks like a sad bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. So which probably means to some degree a sad job. And sometimes when you're in a sad job, the only semblance of peace you can get is just going and just sitting on the toilet. Not even when you have to take a shit. Sometimes you just need to sit on the toilet. I used to do that all the time at the hotel. I would just go. I was tired of standing, and I'm like, I'm just going to sit in this horribly smelling saw adjacent bathroom and just like sit in the next to the fossilized boogers and just be alone for like 5 minutes. That's all I want to be. And then God forbid you have to take a shit, and then you're in this horrible, miserable job, miserable bathroom. Everything sucks. You flush, and the fucking toilet explodes. Just like what? Like what else could go wrong with my life? Just the toilet fucking explodes.
I'm going to send you an alternate angle to this too. If you, for anyone listening, if you're watching it, I don't even think we're going to put that up there. But just type in Pittsburgh toilet explosion, and you'll see what you need to see.
That is such a set. This is like, was this a sliding door?
That's I still can't wrap my head around what exactly we're looking at. I think it's a hinged door. I do think that's the hinge on the bottom right corner. But anyways, it's gross and sad.
This toilet has, I don't know if they spell it out with what it is, but it's like a super flusher.
Is that what that is? It's supposed to for big
It basically
jobs.
prevents clogs.
Okay.
Like it severely reduces clogs. It sounds like a goddamn jet engine going off.
So you do have one of these.
I have two, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. On the same toilet, because fuck you, Mother Earth, and fuck you, turds. You're going down. You know what I mean?
Doug has problems.
People will deck out their cars and rev them up. I'm like, come take your shit at my house. See what happens. Because I'll tell you what,
shitter.
Your shit's going down.
Your
big
shit's
time.
going down.
No, I have two toilets. Each one has this And yeah, I have two. big time over here.
Big
Can you imagine a time when someone's like, I have 2 toilets, and they're like, whoa, okay.
Money bags.
Did you hear about Doug?
Christ.
Dude, he's got 2 toilets. They're like, well, how many asses does he have? You know, like that's crazy. Why would he have 2 toilets?
Man, must be nice to have disposable income, am I right?
Right? He can just, why do you need 2? What's the point? You know? Hilarious. But yeah, these were already installed in our toilets. And I was just like, this seems a bit excessive, but okay. I mean, I've clogged a fair amount of toilets in my life. Brag. I know really well how to unclog a toilet. Honestly, here's the other thing. I didn't realize I was using a plunger wrong for the longest time.
What are you talking about?
It wasn't until I was working at SMS, and you know where I worked there, that it was about facilities maintenance and stuff like that. And they on the facility side, I worked on the exterior side dealing with lawn care and snow removal. I started, dabbling a little bit on the facility side, and I saw like a helpful video from a plumber on like how to properly unclog a toilet. I'm like, okay.
How complicated can this be?
We all know how to do this, right? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong. What I would do is I would just take the plunger straight in, just stick it straight into the hole and just go and see if I could get it to go. And most of the time it kind of would work. Not always. Yeah. What I didn't realize what you do is you're supposed to dip it in at an angle and then let the water fill it up about halfway and then put it around the seal. It creates a perfect seal.
Interesting.
So then you can just be like, do a couple of pushes. And
just a couple of measured pushes.
Yeah. You don't have to, because I would literally as a kid just be like, and just be like, there we go, got it.
You know how they sweep for curling? That's kind of the veracity with 100%
is what I was doing. But there's no seal there. So when you do that, when you trap everything there, it has to like move whatever's there. It has to move the air and the water. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that.
Who knew there was finesse needed to fucking plunge a toilet?
Design, man. That's what it's there for. Yeah. The more you know. So anyway, these are just installed in our toilets and things like that. And all of a sudden it just sounded like water was running in my water bill. Thank God I turned on the alerts for my water. It's like, hey, you've used 3 times the normal amount of water in one day. You should probably check on that. I'm like, fuck me. Okay. And something was busted and I popped the lid and I just looked at this mechanism and I'm like,
you'd never taken the back off because why would you, right?
I looked at this and I was just like, I don't know what any of this is. Like, I don't know what this is just a big old fucking thing. And I went online. I was like, this is where I have no skill. I have a -3 on my mechanic skill. I am just no good. And I did the bare minimum because I'm just sitting there being like, I guess this is the thing. I was like, I don't know how to take this apart. I don't know how to put it back together.
Right.
Eventually I called the plumber and I was like, explain to him everything I did. He goes, oh yeah, this thing is basically fucked. I was like, oh. He goes, yeah, you just basically have to replace it. I was like, okay, so I'm not an idiot. I did the right thing by calling you because that was my biggest fear, is that I was going to call you. You're like, oh yeah, you just flip the switch and you're good to go. And I'm like, fuck. He's like, no, this is going to cost you $800. I'm like, cool. Ooh. Good to know. But while we were there, he goes, I could replace this one thing. It'll cost you $50. He goes, but it's not a long-term fix. Could be good. He sold you.
He did the salesman thing.
It's true. He's like, he goes, it's gonna. Well, it was actually like $200. It was like $200 or $800. He goes, you could pay you $200. Pay me $200 to do this, and maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. He goes, this thing's rusted to hell. Like it needs to be replaced. And I was like, fine. And he goes, the worst thing I ever saw with one of these things is at a corporate office, one of these things exploded. And
shut up.
And I go, no shit. I go, can you imagine being that guy? That's just like, was the one I go, what happened? He goes, just too many people. It's just like one too many flushes. Like it just finally reached its breaking point. Can you imagine being the guy who's just like, and then skidoo. You're like, I just flushed the toilet. You walk out, everything's just like shrapnel.
Right.
Like you're just landing on the beaches of Normandy. It's like that scene from Saving Private Ryan trying to pick up your arm off the ground. You're like, I'm just trying to take a shit, man.
I just wanted to take a shit. I just had the coffee poops.
So when I saw this article, I'm like, oh my God, the guy told me that this like happened to him. He goes, it's extremely rare, but it does happen that they just explode. Goddamn. I'm like, what?
That's wild that you actually had an alert to the fact that this could happen. So did you, so do you still have them in your toilets or did you say like, fuck that? We're okay. Cause I would have said like, how much to take these out and just put in regular
He
fixtures.
said he's seen that happen. He goes, listen, I fix a lot of things. I've seen that happen one time. So like,
Well, yeah, but now twice, Doug. Now we have 2 accounts.
Now we've got 2 accounts.
They're coming for us, is what I'm saying.
Exploding. Yeah.
This is the
and what's
problem with
crazy is
AI
this
flushing
one
mechanisms.
This one looks like it's in way better shape than mine was.
That's not good.
Mine was rusted to shit. It was
Yeah.
horrible. It looked awful. I was like, man, don't touch that. You'll get tetanus. Like that's no good.
I just can't imagine. Yeah, like sitting in there and just because then does it say gash to his leg? So he did get because if you let's say it explodes, but you don't have any, none of the porcelain shatters and gets you or anything like that. You're just covered in shit water.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the tank isn't the only thing that's. I have to assume if the tank explodes, it's forcing other stuff to come up and out, and it's probably nothing. Nothing is sacred anymore. Everything is ruined at that point.
Well, here's the thing. I think the real question we have to ask
Yeah.
is how do we know this wasn't a hit?
Oh, so you're saying someone might have been after this gentleman? You're
Just saying,
positing.
maybe not this gentleman, but maybe someone, and maybe they missed their mark. Have we thought about that?
Oh, could you imagine being caught in the crossfire of a hit gone wrong
In the toilet?
and it's the toilet exploding on you?
Because I just imagine it's like all those movies where people go to start their car
Yeah.
and then it explodes and someone just gets up and they just press the button to flush it and it just
Right.
explodes,
Did it explode randomly or does it say did he flush?
I don't know if it says. This is a pretty short article. Yeah. Basically, they're also just saying that this building in general is not kept up very well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they were
it
saying
doesn't
it's
say.
not great.
I feel
Poor
like
conditions at the city building. Municipal report shows peeling paint, broken urinals, fountains with mold, and elevators that don't work.
Yeah.
The police and fire training academy didn't have heat for 4 months. This instructors were forced to set up space heaters just to stay warm because the boiler was broken. They need to figure their shit out, is all I'm saying in Pittsburgh.
Well, good news. The government's cutting funding, so I don't think that's going to get addressed. So,
Seriously, though, this dude's lucky that he got some again, that porcelain exploded. He got some pieces in his leg. He got some shit nail in his leg, and luckily it wasn't worse. It could have genuinely. I'm glad the guy's okay, but
Yeah.
man,
Listen, we were already afraid of toilet snakes and things like that. Now you got to worry about, man, is this the flush that does me in?
if this happens at your work and you find out Ricky comes back and he's okay, a little gash in his leg, do you let Ricky live this down?
I mean, I'm so empathetic of that because I have one of those things at home. I'd be like, Ricky, you don't realize how lucky you are, man. It was a toilet roulette, man. It could have been anybody.
It could have been, yeah.
Could have been anybody.
But it was him. If you're good enough friends with him.
The one day you decide maybe if you're just a routine guy and then that one day you're off your schedule for better or worse, right? You go in there.
Obviously for worse.
It's just a number system, and you were your number. It's like it was ticking down, and then you were the one that clicked it to 0, and then
Your number's up, homie.
yeah, man. Well, I'm trying to think of would be a fun name for that as a mob hit. What's the code name for doing the toilet
I see
bomb?
what you're saying. Yeah.
You give him a flusher. Give him the flusher. Tell him John says hello.
Hey, let's have you go make him. Yeah. Go send him to meet his porcelain god.
There you go. Have him drop his kids off of the pool one more time.
It's just, but it's time for final drop off.
There we go. Drown him and his kids in the pool. It's like, Jesus, man, that's a bit much, don't you think?
Yeah, it's just called Johnny Goes Boom.
Johnny Goes Boom. There's someone you and I both know. I don't want to call them out by name, but they were saying recently they were having some gastronomical gastro distress.
Okay.
And they were saying how thankful they were that they were working from home because they had to just shit constantly.
Sure.
and it got to the point where they were running late to meetings because they had to shit.
My
and
God.
their excuse was, "Hey man, I'm sorry. My last meeting just went 10 minutes late." And so like that was like the code word for, hey, my last meeting went long.
Yeah,
It was like you took a shit. So I'm taking that and being like, let's make sure his meeting goes a little long today. If you know what I'm saying. Make sure his meeting goes long. Make sure he doesn't make it to his next meeting, if you know what I'm saying.
Make sure. I need to know after we get off who this is, because
I'll tell you.
I feel bad.
I feel bad for them as well, because it continued on, and I saw them in distress, and they were sweating and everything, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
No, boy, no.
They're like, I'm not okay," and I'm like, "Cool. You should just go. You should leave and seek help. This isn't good.
This is not good. Yeah."
But now, whenever someone says, "Hey, man, sorry, I was just my last meeting ran late, ran long," you're like, taking a shit. Okay.
Well, okay. So now I know the code for whenever you're like, "Hey, you got a minute?" And I'll be like, "I'm sorry, my meeting's running long. Let me get back to you. Let me get back to you in 5."
Sorry, I'm late. My last meeting just ran long. It's like, you're taking a dump. He's taking a dump.
I like that. Let's make sure his meeting runs long.
Well, that's enough. Now that you're afraid of sitting on the toilet, let's talk about the heist of the century. The heist of the year.
I have to assume that the toilet exploding was a cover for this heist. They caused that explosion so that they could pull this off.
Yeah, because they did. Oh my God, there's an explosion. All the cops in the area showed up to this one place to deal with the explosion, and then because they were doing that, someone stole 100,000 eggs in Pennsylvania. Because the other one was in Pennsylvania. It did happen in Pennsylvania, so you're not, not too far.
What an anticlimactic. All the cops went over to the site of the explosion, the toilet explosion, and then they stole 100,000 eggs.
And they stole 100,000 eggs.
I would like to call out all the puns that are forthcoming, starting with the title of the news article here: "The heist of 100,000 eggs in Pennsylvania becomes a whodunit that police have yet to crack."
Yeah, I'm on a different site that doesn't have puns, so.
Oh, well, then you're missing out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
After
After 100,000 eggs stolen, CEO says company will crack down on security. So I don't know.
Crack. They did it too.
They did it too. So in Greencastle, Pennsylvania, the CEO of Pete and Jerry's Eggs is speaking out after 100,000 eggs mysteriously disappeared. This is probably one of my favorite lines. In an exclusive interview with Good Morning America, Tom Flacco said the egg firm, which contracts over 300 farms across the country.
The egg firm. Sounds so official.
Welcome to the firm, the egg firm. I see you would like to do business with the egg firm. Well, we have very stringent entry qualifications if you are interested, sir. But not anyone can get in here. We have only 300 farms.
Only
the egg firm.
It's at the egg. You don't contact the egg firm. The egg firm will contact you.
Yeah, I'm an egg man, and the eggmen will find you.
Goo 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 tube, sir. Goo 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 tube.
You randomly find an egg in your mailbox one day.
Right.
This means that
you've been summoned.
You've been selected for an interview.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a done deal yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gotta make sure you don't crack under pressure.
We're done here. So
that was pretty good. What are we doing here?
Apparently 8,000 cartons worth $40,000 were stolen from the back of a distribution trailer. So eggs are a big thing right now. You got the avian flu, which is just rampaging through the hens, and which is making eggs become more scarce. And when you have a lack of supply, the demand goes up, and so does the fucking price. So eggs are getting fucking expensive here. But even then, I gotta ask the question: you rob it, which is wild.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. They don't really talk about how it happened, but they rob it, and then what?
Well, you assume that these guys had to have hatched a plan, right?
Oh, boy.
I don't understand why we keep stopping. All right, I'm so excited to talk about this story. Let's keep going.
He's so hot for me, we give him a whiff of my ass, he'll crawl right in it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
floor
Doug.
is yours.
Don't be
The
such a
floor is
rotten
yours.
egg. Let's go. Come on.
Oh, my God.
Bernard! I hate Bernard!
We found the game.
We have found the game. So these guys steal 8,000 cartons of eggs. I mean, if they don't have the proper technology to refrigerate all of these eggs, I mean, these things are going to go bad really fast.
Yeah.
This is a very, I don't know, like we were talking about this pre-roll. It's like, cool, you did it. And then what? Like, what's the next step of the plan? Profit. Okay.
Step 1, steal eggs. Step 2, something. Step 3, profit.
It's like, what do you, like, where's the black market for eggs? You know what I mean? Like, because you got to have something that's like, you got to house 8,000 cartons of eggs, man.
That's a lot
And
of
like
fucking eggs.
You don't just chuck this shit around. You can break the eggs. You're going to lose out money on that.
Right.
So, like, I mean, all of a sudden someone comes to the corner like, hey, man, you got weed? He's like, no, but I got eggs.
Well, it's also that, but like you're storing them, but like, how do you transport 80,000 or 8,000 crates of eggs? Cartons of it,
Justin, not crates.
Well, sorry, cartons of eggs. Excuse me, my brain's scrambled right now. Salacious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, how do you transport it? That's again, think about that and transporting it safely, like you said. So it's like it's got to have some sort of shock absorption or something. You can't just throw it in a random fucking one of those big cargo trucks.
Yeah. And then you've got them transported, and then where are you going to put them?
Storing them. Yep.
It just, they gotta, there's literally a shelf life with these things. They can't last forever. So,
and the other thing is too, like, okay, you stole 100,000 eggs, 8,000 cartons, worth about $40,000. Like, it's not chump change, but I mean, it's not life change. Like, for the amount of work that's involved in this, is $40,000 really worth it?
I mean, that'll buy you 20 new computers, you know?
That's true. And you know what? You're well on your way to a lifetime supply at that point.
That's right. At that point, you're like, if all these last me at least 5 years, I'll be dead.
At math right there.
I'll
Doug.
be dead.
You're an egghead. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, the steps that come after this, I want to believe that there's a real good, intelligent plan in place for this, but this also reeks of, what was it that was happening during the pandemic? People were hoarding stuff.
Toilet paper, yeah.
It wasn't necessarily toilet paper, but people were like literally buying up. Maybe it was the antibiotic gel that you put on your hands. What is it? The
hand sanitizer.
The hand sanitizer. I think people were like just hoarding that.
Was that
and then selling it on eBay?
The
shit like that.
The wipes. The disinfectant.
The wipes.
Yeah, there was another
and people
one.
were like, because they're like, oh, people need this, so we're going to gather up all this supply, and then we will sell them at a premium.
Right.
To do that sort of stuff. I think it's the same logic. Like, man, eggs are fucking expensive. What if we have the eggs?
Right. We control the supply chain.
And then we are the kings. But what they don't understand is that the egg firm always knows. The egg firm will always find you.
Yeah.
Because they are in charge.
They're in charge.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's not cool. But yeah, it's like, I imagine what are they doing? They hanging out outside the Waffle House being like, hey,
psst,
hey,
come here. Come here.
What?
Come
what?
Here.
I just want to have some breakfast, man. What?
Yeah, no. Before you do though, just come here real quick. What are you getting in there? You gonna get Oh, you gonna get
Probably
some
gonna
eggs?
get some grits.
Yeah.
Probably some waffles, maybe some eggs,
Ooh, that sounds good.
side of bacon,
You know,
maybe some hash browns, maybe a side of pancakes on top of that.
you're
Probably
hungry.
orange juice, maybe a cup of milk.
Okay. Hungry boy.
Get both sausage patties and sausage
Both of them.
links, and then probably some corned beef hash.
So, okay. I'll look.
Yeah. Maybe a skillet.
I've also got some, sodium management medication too.
Why? Why?
If you want, if you want to do that.
Oh, what else you got? You got cocaine?
I got here. Look at this. I got eggs.
Oh,
Huh?
All right.
You can make it. How much you going to spend? All that you're buying in there, all of that stuff, most of it, I would say at least at 25% of it has eggs in it. Okay, so what are you going to spend on that? I'll cut
I
you a
don't think
deal.
that adds up.
I'll cut you a deal over
I don't
here.
think that. I don't think 25% has eggs. I think I said
Absolutely.
eggs.
No,
But there's not
Look,
eggs and sausage. There's
waffles,
not eggs and
waffles. You got
there are eggs and waffles.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In your skillet, there's eggs in there.
You don't know what kind of skillet I'm getting.
I'm almost certain that it's going
I'm
to have
getting a
eggs in it.
veggie skillet. Did you think about that? Did throw you for a loop there, didn't I?
With
Getting
eggs?
veggies. No,
All right,
already got enough protein. I'm good.
sir. I'm shell shocked over here. All right, let me.
Still get
Sorry, sir. My radio went off. Let me turn that off real quick. There we go. Okay. So yeah, like we were saying, you look like a man who likes to be in control of things. Am I right? Am I right in assuming that, sir?
I am.
Right.
I do
So-
like to be on top.
You like to be on top. You like to be the boss. You like to control.
I am
So
the boss.
you
I
wanna-
am the boss.
You want to go in there. You know, these Waffle House eggs. I'll tell you about this. Waffle House subpar. They're single A, double A at best. I got triple A eggs over here, sir.
What makes a AAA egg?
Well, let me show you. Look at the quality. Look at the white in this shell. All right.
Oh my God, these are from the egg firm. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
You stealing from the egg firm? He pulls out a gun.
Bulls- they
It's
found
a
me.
sting operation, motherfucker.
Johnny, now. Toilet explodes inside the Waffle House. I get in the car and
It
drive
blows out
away.
the side of the wall. You're like, oh my God. The light from the bathroom, the dingy yellow light from the bathroom shines on your face. You're like, ah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
what,
I imagine like Waffle House starts doing a BYOE, bring your own eggs, and
And this
avoid the
guy's like,
surcharge.
I'm set.
You come in with your own cart and you're like, I think I'll be having you make up my eggs. That would be great. Thank you. Save on the old surcharge there. Thank you very much. In case you all don't know, Waffle House is charging an extra 50 cents
Are they really?
egg. They are.
Oh
That's
shit!
why
So
I
you
made
bring
that
your
joke. I
own
realized
eggs.
I was making a reference to something that people did not maybe not know, but
I did not know that. Yeah.
they because they go through so many eggs and there's such a shortage and it's costing them so much that if you get anything, it's 50 cents per egg
Jesus
item
Christ!
that you get.
So you bring in your own carton and you get to say, "Yolks on you, Waffle House."
You know, I can eat a peach for hours.
Dad, enough. All right, God. Mom's a happy woman. Congratulations. Jesus, Dad. Do you ever stop and think that maybe someone doesn't want that for that long?
Maybe there's a lot going on in the day. I've got soccer practice later on.
Yeah. I mean,
Who's picking me up? You guys are spending
Right?
hours doing this.
I kind
Who's
of just
picking
want to
me up?
read. I kind of just want to read. I don't necessarily need to get my peach licked for 2 hours,
Do I need to call Kyle to pick up the kids?
Yeah.
Because
You're gonna have
obviously
to.
you're not available.
Obviously.
Jesus.
And and honestly, I don't feel like you've ever done that to me.
Are we still
So
the kid
who's
in this?
peach? Who's peach you've been licking for hours?
I lost the thread of what the character was.
Yeah,
I think we started off as the kid and then it got weird.
it did.
Okay.
I kind of switched. I don't know. Whatever. It's all good.
I don't know where we are in this scene, but I'm
Yeah,
into
I don't
it.
Either. Doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all
So
good stuff.
let us know if you were to steal 100,000 eggs, because the answer, it's not been answered. What is the plan after that? So I want to know, like, craft your own heist plan and let us know. Not even the heist. I don't even want to know how you're stealing them. I want to know when you're done stealing
I'll
these.
accept how you're doing it.
Okay.
Tell me,
But I
you know?
really want to. So give us the setup, how you're stealing them. And then we really want to know, what's the plan after that? How do you move in the black market, how do you move 100,000 eggs? What's that look like? What's the plan?
And not only that, like, also, it's like if you're like, hey, I stole $100,000 of gold bars. It's like, yeah, that shit can just sit in your basement. You can bury it in the backyard. It'll last forever.
You can wait.
You can wait until the price is just right.
That's
and
right.
then you can offload those
until the heat gets off you a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, probably just as difficult to offload, fucking gold bars as it is to offload eggs. I don't know how you do that.
It's probably just as difficult, but again, time's on your side when it comes to gold bars.
Yeah, it's true. But also, I don't know, man. I can imagine them going to the grocery store and be like, hey, man, you want some eggs? It's like, what the fuck? No, I don't.
I'll trade you these gold bars for some eggs. Maybe that's the two people that are doing the deals.
I guess.
Yeah.
Random.
I wanted to get me some gold bars, but the person will only accept eggs as a trade. So had to steal 100,000 eggs. Because as we all know, 100,000 eggs is equal to 12 gold bars.
It's true.
That's
how it works.
That's where the current exchange rate is.
That's right.
Exchange
deal
rate.
With it. All right. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin,
you want to play a game?
I'm ready to play a game.
All right, let's
do it.
fucking play a game. Oh, we're doing it again. Good Lord. Was not prepared for that. 300. I did it.
Never are. Woo! You win.
We're playing our guessing game again, guys. We're playing the game where one of us plays movie clips for the other person. The other person has to guess what they are. And today I am putting Doug on the hot seat. I'm trying to mess him up. Okay. So Doug, I think you've seen all three of these movies. Okay. I believe you've seen all three of these. I could be very wrong. Again, I don't think I picked too obscure or too hard of lines, but we'll see what you got. So I'm going to give you.
We'll fucking see.
We will see. I just said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to fucking see.
We'll see. I said we'll see.
You know what we'll do?
What?
See?
I think, well, that's a better plan than mine. So the first one is the longest of, they're all dialogue based, but this one's the longest one. So we're going to start with this one here.
We gotta get out of this town!
Yeah, and go where? Where are we gonna go?
I'll tell you where. Someplace warm. A place where the beer flows like wine. Where beautiful women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a little place called Aspen.
I don't know, Lloyd. The French are assholes.
Great line. Dumb and Dumber, baby.
Woo!
Awesome.
Absolutely. That is, again, you want to talk about, I was thinking as I was walking home today, I was like, well, what are some lines that roll around in my head? Because instead of trying to figure out like, well, what movies has Doug seen and what this and then, I'm like, and so often something will come up and I'm like, apropos of nothing, I'm like, I don't know, the French are assholes. Like it's
right.
It's the button on that always gets me. And then the other one is
so many great lines like that in that movie where they're throwaways, but they're so, I don't know, the French are assholes.
The women instinctively flock like the salmon of Cap. There's three things wrong with that analogy, and it's just amazing.
Where the beer flows like wine. It's like, what?
Someplace warm. Aspen.
It's not a place called Aspen. They're so fucking stupid, and I love it.
So amazing, yeah. So well done. You got the first one. All right.
Nice.
I think you should have no problem with this one. But again, one of my favorite insults in cinema.
You want to learn the first rule? You'd know if you ever spent a day in your life. You never open your mouth till you know what the shot is. You fucking child.
You fucking child.
Yeah, he goes on to say a lot of other choice words.
I had the whole thing pulled. The whole 2-minute and 15-second rant where it opens up, you fucking cunt.
You fucking cunt. That is from Glengarry Glen Ross. And honestly,
it is.
I learned about that movie from working at an assignment desk with you, and you like referenced that. And I was like, I've never seen it. You're like, hold on a second. And you sent me that clip. And I was like, I don't know what this movie's about.
Yeah.
But God damn.
Doug, would you believe it was a stage play?
Well, and not only that, but like you and I, while we're still there, we looked it up again. And at some point, they were doing a stage performance of it. Al Pacino was in it, but he's playing a different character. And I'm like, no,
He's playing the role of Jack that Jack Lemmon played.
Yeah.
Which oh my God, I can't remember his name. Doesn't matter. Wait, what is his name? Oh God, what's his name? Hold on. This is gonna Glenn Ross. He was
Carl.
playing Carl. No, Shelley Levine.
That's right.
That's right. Levine the Machine. He's a selling machine. Yeah, and it was really weird to see him play because Jack Lemmon's character is so Pacino's character, Richard Roma, he's so confident and he's just like, this is bullshit. What's happening here? Also, I know how to sell, and also this, and like he's so confident. And Lemon's going through this crisis of confidence the entire movie, and just a little bit of a pushover, a little bit of a heel. Tries to get one up, but then gets fucked, and it's just it's such a weird role to see Pacino slot himself into after solidifying his role as Roma for forever.
And I think in that stage play, John C. McGinley was playing Roma, which also like chef's kiss.
Wonderful,
like,
right? Exactly.
That guy can fucking kill it in that role. But I was like, I don't want to see Pacino as the beat up,
right?
Chewed up, spit out guy. I want to see him as the guy that just shows up and he's just like a complete just rock star,
right? Just again, but every time he just said just that line of just you fucking child, it cut because he goes on this huge rant and then it's just that last little bit just cuts so deep.
Those are the things like when you think about acting and you see those scenes, you're like, God,
the choices that he made.
I don't think I could pull that off.
Right. Right.
In a believable way. Because all I'd be doing is like, you fucking child! You don't open your mouth unless you know the shit! Just like one note.
Who told you could work with men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when he starts out, he just turns and he's just like seething. He's like, you cunt.
Yeah.
You
fucking shithead.
He's just like trying to keep it together, but it's just like eking out a little bit at a time. And then he
gets there. He gets to the yelling.
Yeah.
Where he goes, I'm going downtown. I'm going to Mitch and Murray. I'm going to Limpkin. And I will tell them, because I got a few things I could tell our cop friend here about who, and then he starts going. And there's another beautiful moment where the guy who's waiting to interrogate him is, can we, and he finishes what he's saying to Kevin Spacey's character, turns back to the cop, I'll be with you in a second. And it turns back to Spacey's character. And it's just such a natural, you totally believe, he's like, don't cut me off. I'm on a roll. Like, it's just such a natural performance.
Also, to that cop.
Yeah.
He's just like, so annoyed. He's like, I just want to go home, man.
Right.
Just get in here. I don't give a shit about this deal. He just has a couple lines. He's like, can we please just get this over with?
I'll be with you in a moment.
I'll be with you in a moment. I got to chew this guy's ass.
Right?
So good.
All right. So you got 2 for 2. Here we go. Got number 3.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Great line. Great pull. So pissed I didn't think of that. That's from Office Space.
Absolutely.
Such a good
well
one.
done. Well
Such
done.
a good, another one. Watching that as an adult.
Oh my God. What a different. It hits so different.
I watched that like 2 years ago and I'm like, oh my God, this makes so much more sense to me now. I haven't seen this in years. I saw it when I was in college. I'm like, this movie's silly.
It was great.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. And then after spending, 20 more years in the workforce, I'm like,
getting your ass handed to you.
No. It's like, this is terrible.
It hits on such a different level. But that again, like we used to say it all the time, and it still has anything. Someone says something inappropriate or says something, or it says something out of character. In my head, I just go, I believe you get your ass kicked for saying something like that.
I believe you get your ass kicked for saying something like that.
Shit, no, man.
God, yeah, what another great movie that like captured the essence of corporate life in the 90s.
Oh, a million percent.
Spoiler alert, gang, hasn't changed a whole lot.
No, it is not.
The essence is going strong.
If you've been out of the game, guess what? Haven't missed much.
Yeah, it is depressing as hell. The idea like his 7 different bosses calling and talking to him when he's made a mistake. And I'm like, oh, I've been there. That sucks. Everyone.
What he does, when McGinley and the other guy, the 2 Bobs, sit down with him, they say, Peter, what was it you do here? He's like, do? And he gives him this like, he lays it out for him in the most honest way possible, and he tells him why he's not motivated and what he has to deal with, and it's everything that you ever have wanted to say to your bosses, and they're just like, well, let's see what we can do. Like, the more honest he gets, the better it gets for him. And I'm like, man, that's the.
They're like,
right
I think
there.
he's management material,
Right?
Like,
which
they were
again is indicative. How many times have you and I witnessed people fail upwards, and you're like, yeah, that's the problem with corporate right there. Fucking Christ.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, that watching that movie was less funny as an adult, and it was more like, yeah, this shit is real, man.
Oh, this is a
real,
documentary.
and,
I get it.
yeah, and this is well, the same thing with Jennifer Aniston, where he's like, his boss is like, I see you don't have a whole lot of flair on your
right
on your suspenders. She's like, oh, I'll go. You want me to put on more flair? No, I want you to have the amount of flair that you're comfortable with. But you see Jack over there, Jack, he's got a lot of flair. So you want me to have more flair? No, I'm just saying, what does that say about you? And I'm just like, what do you want, man?
Right.
Stop speaking in riddles, you cocksucker. You know, awful.
You cunt.
Or the guy who's just like, who gets interviewed. He's like, what do you do? It's like, so it sounds like you deliver papers from this person to this person. He's like, I'm important.
No, it's much more than that.
It's more than that.
I'm an important cog in this machine.
Yeah, just dumbass shit. Those were great polls, man. Thank you for doing that.
You nailed it, man. I'm very proud of you. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you. I do have some more for you.
Okay.
I just unfortunately couldn't get to them today, so be prepared for next time.
Be prepared.
Justin, what do you have to recommend this week?
I am going to give a full-throated endorsement of the movie Saturday Night.
Sorry, go ahead.
Saturday Night. It's the Saturday Night
That's how
Live.
we're rating things from now on, just so you know.
I'm going to give a half-throated endorsement. How many do you give it? No.
Full throat.
Saturday Night. It is the Tensions Run High is produced Lauren Michaels and a ferocious troupe of young comedians and writers prepare for the first broadcast of Saturday Night Live on October 11th, 1975. So it's a 90-minute film that shows the 90 minutes leading up to the beginning, the first episode of SNL, and just how ill-prepared everyone was and how much of a shit show it was and how it almost didn't make it to air. A lot of it, I listened to one of the original cast members, Lorraine Newman, talk about it. She said she loved it, absolutely loved it. She goes, obviously, there were a lot of liberties taken with certain things, but she said that it really captured, and I've heard a couple other people say it really captured kind of the vibe, just this tense, what the fuck are we doing vibe of a bunch of 20-year-olds who had never made live television before being handed a 90-minute slot that used to be Carson reruns. And NBC was man, they were making bank off those Carson reruns. So Carson was the king of that slot, and this unknown producer, Lauren Michaels, and a bunch of unknown 20-year-olds were like, we'll do a live show that's counterculture comedy, and let's see how it goes. So it should not have worked. And man, I'll fully admit I'm an SNL apologist. Like, I'm biased when it comes to this stuff because I love the institution. It's got its highs and lows, fully willing to admit that. But the institution of SNL is just something that I hold very close to my heart. So this movie made me feel all the feels and in all the right ways. I'll say the cast, Jason Reitman wrote or co-wrote? Yeah, directed it. I think he co-wrote it too. Son of Ivan Reitman, who worked with a bunch of those guys from back in the day in a bunch of movies, Ghostbusters and other things. And so he had a real close connection with this material. But the people he cast for these roles, which I don't think you could have found a better cast for this. And some of the cameos and stuff that you see, just the little things here and there. Matthew Rice plays George Carlin, who apparently did not want anything to do with hosting. George Carlin, I went back and watched the first episode, didn't appear in any sketches. He refused to. He did 4 monologues. He did 4 stand-up bits, but he was like, this is good. That you call this comedy? No, I'm not doing this. So he did not like it. But J.K. Simmons, Willem Dafoe, fucking John Baptiste plays fucking Billy Preston. It's just such a good casting. So I cannot recommend it enough. It's on Netflix. If you've got the ad-supported tier of Netflix, you cannot watch it. But if you've got the
fuck you,
if you've got the one up from that, you can stream it on Netflix, and I would recommend doing that. Doug, what do you got?
I haven't consumed it yet, but I will start very soon. The book 7 of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series is
come out? Oh, buddy.
in print, and I think it's coming out on audio tomorrow as of the day that we're recording this. So I'm going to be hopping into that. I'm super excited. I've been re-listening to the previous books, and they are so goddamn good. So I can't recommend the series enough. The Audible version, the audiobooks are top notch. So well done, so entertaining, and it's such a good story. And I am so pumped for this next book. No telling how long this series is going to go on, but it's fucking amazing. So I'm very excited.
How long is each audiobook? How long does it take you to get through
the first couple are relatively short. I want to say like maybe 10 to 12 hours.
Okay.
Like book 5, you're looking like 20 plus.
Jesus.
It gets up there. There's a lot of stuff going on. So they're very, very good. The voice acting again, Jeff Hayes, fantastic, amazing. That does all the voices, except for like there's like 2 characters that he doesn't do the voices for. They're just like quick ones, one-offs.
Yeah.
So, but he's so fucking good. He makes you be like, oh yeah, I'm terrible with accents. Not only accents, but just like inflections. Like he will do a female voice. The first time you hear, you're like, that's not a female. But then after a while, you're like, that's a female. Like you just like
buy into it.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so well done. That's awesome. And the fact that he can just switch between them so seamlessly, it's so good. And he delivers lines so well. And he narrates so well. And it's also just a fantastic story. So if you're not familiar with what it is, it's basically Earth basically gets put through an apocalypse that is a scheduled game show for the universe where Earth is a target. And basically one night, Earth, if you're indoors, you basically get squished. If you're outdoors, there's an opportunity to go down a stairwell. If you go down the stairwell, you enter the dungeon. And the dungeon is 18 levels deep. And if you can make it to the 18th level, you basically become the ruler of the planet. But it's never happened. And it's interesting. And there's a lot of intergalactic politics and things. It's fantasy based. So it's like he's in this fantasy world, but he's also like leveling up with stats and getting abilities. But he's also very well aware that it's a game. And it's very, very, very interesting. It's very well done. It's very creative. And but it's also just like there's very funny moments. There's also very serious moments as well. You're like, God damn, this is some wild shit. Yeah. And also stuff just gets referenced over and over again. Like something that happens in the very first book, I'm going to find out the repercussions in book 7. He has a pet named Donut, a cat, and she gets sentience. And in the very first book, she puts on a tiara. You're supposed to read you examine the things before you put on. She puts it on and it sets her up to be basically she can't leave the 9th floor until she has absolutely eradicated all this other people who are in line for this throne. So now if she doesn't do that, she can't get past the 9th floor. Oh, okay. So we're going to find out what happens with that, which will be real interesting. So,
I love it.
And that was in book 1 and now we're in book 7 and there's repercussions. So I love shit like that. That's awesome. I love a callback. What can I say? So I can't vouch for it, but I've heard it's great. So Dungeon Crawler Carl, The Inevitable Ruin. So, anywho, thank you all for listening to us. We appreciate you. Do us a solid. Head over to youtube.com/mindgappodcast. Hit the like and subscribe button. Check the link in the description for links to our Discord. Come hang out with us there. To links to our Patreon, our merch at redbubble.com. And share us around. And let us know. Leave a comment about anything we've talked about on here. We'd love to interact with you and chat with you and all that good stuff. And be sure to check Justin out online.
On Instagram at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. While you're in the online realm, anywhere where you can find and consume audio podcasts, you can find us as well. Go ahead and share, subscribe, rate, review, all those things that we ask you to do every week. But the big one is sharing, because that's caring. Let people know that we exist. That goes a hugely long way for us. And spreading the word of Mind Gap. And then 2east8th.com, 2east8th on all social media, loveandimprovfilm.com, Love and Improv Film on Instagram.
Woo, woo, woo. With that, I will say, Justin, thank you.
Douglas. Yeah, thank you.
Listeners, viewers, thank you. And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.